go. Get a drift in. Get a good drift in. There you go. Yeah. There goes a set of tires. It's too much. It's just like you can't get enough. Tell us who you are, what your company is, and why you're even in this business.
Dan Torino, sales manager for Carly Suspension. I'm in this business because I like making these trucks do things they shouldn't do. Here we are at the track.
That scares me a little bit.
Yeah, just wait.
Because we
haven't gotten started.
Now, Brad's a road racer. I mean, you know, he's not a real full-on experience. You know, down here in the South where we live, where the desert and off-roading is really a big sport over here. You know, back on the East Coast, it's not as popular. So, and you know, this guy's a road racer. He's got I don't know, he's got another truck that makes like 1,000 horsepower that's on the road that goes 200 miles an hour. How's this going to affect, do you think his driving skills are going to be up to par today?
We're about to find out.
That's still not good.
That's going to meet us in the middle. All that power could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. I just hope he's got the confidence with the power to take the track the way it should be taken. Okay, now looking at
the short arm kit and the long arm kit, like on your truck, what are we going to achieve today or by the end of the day? Because we're going to run this short arm kit today, and by Wednesday, we're going to be back out here on the track, airing the truck out a little bit more. But what is the advantage over your kit versus this kit?
The long arm system keeps the axle in a more forward position. It provides more leverage on the front axle. So the suspension does a lot more work, where on the short arm kit, you get more delineation of suspension travel. It pulls the axle back through travel while the track bar pulls it off to the side. It's more of an oscillating motion. This is going to keep it centered in its travel stroke. You got 6 inches of up travel, 6 inches of down travel, where that truck, you have 7 inches of up travel, 3 inches of down travel. This is a no holds barred on budget, the way you should build it. That is an awesome, I guess, early iteration of what performance suspension was for these trucks. It's great, but if you're not going to throw the extra $3,000-$4,000 at the long arm kit, it's going to get 90% done of what you want done.
Right. Now on this also with a diesel engine in it, which you're looking at a lot more weight opposed to like a gas engine. Say a guy had a Hemi or an LS motor or whatever they're running it in a different, I mean, is the spring setup and the shock setup on this a lot bigger?
Absolutely. It's going to be a lot more heavy duty for the diesel truck. The weight distribution is a lot of what you're fighting in this truck. So that's the hurdle you have to overcome, why you can't just fly every jump that you want to, because when you're airborne, you don't have that perfect 50-50 weight distribution. The gas trucks don't have the power. They don't have the weight distribution either, but this goes further in the wrong direction. So we're out here doing a whole bunch of stuff that we shouldn't be doing, and that's how you land in that awesome middle ground of making these the ultimate utilitarian setup versus just a truck that can hit a dirt road.
Right. I think it's going to be pretty interesting to see from going to this short arm to the long arm and see how it feels, because I'm going to be riding in this truck.
And 90% of the situations you're going to be in with the short arm or long arm, you're never going to know the difference. If you go hit a dirt road, you go hit some small whoop sections, those are going to be perfect in either truck. This is really where you get the difference. The on-road ride of the long arms is going to be quite a bit smoother because of that further leverage suspension, and the droop of this truck is going to be quite a bit more because you sacrifice 1 inch of up travel to get 3 more of down travel. Out here, that's going to play a big role in how the truck lands.
Because out here at Speed Vegas, I mean, you can obviously see this is a pretty, I mean, it's a pretty aggressive track.
Absolutely.
For a daily driver, I should say. So, but with the kit that I think you have on this truck, I think you could daily it on this track.
Absolutely.
Right. And so we'll see. And I mean, that's kind of the fun part about it, is just to come out and just R&D it and hammer on it and see what happens. And the greatest thing about it is this isn't my truck.
I know.
Or mine. And Brad's, and he can just beat it. And if it breaks, I guess we drag him home.
That's why I want to see what the power does. I want to see if the stock power truck is going to drag the big horsepower home.
There you go. And if it comes down to it, I'll get the 12 valve out
and drag us both home.
We'll do it. All right. Yeah, lumber wagon. Did you hear the lumber wagon? Are you rolling?
There is a difference in the Dominator shock packages.
Sure.
Not just a long arm, not just a short arm.
Well, let's have him hit it one more time, and we'll kind of get the sound of what Brad's fighting right now. Because the problem is that truck's probably course, it is the same truck. It's a little bit bigger truck, might be a little bit heavier than the other one, but you can just tell the difference in the impact when it lands, when it hits the ground. It's so much smoother with that long arm kit.
It is, and you can see that he's got so much more confidence in this track
for sure.
because he knows what the shock package is going to do in the long arm. He's able to hit things harder and have a whole lot more fun.
Now, I'm not saying like the short arm kit is kind of fun because it's a good off-road setup. But I mean, if you're going to come out to this aggressive a track and hit it, catch this right here, Fabian, if you can. Sorry.
Yeah,
okay, we want to watch this takeoff. So here comes Brad around the corner, and let's see how it actually. So the takeoff's not bad, but hear that?
Yeah,
it's not bad.
It's got a little excessive rebound from when you can tell it bottoms out. You can see it lifting up in the back, and that's what we're going to try to avoid. We're trying to if this is what he wants to do, we want to get it tuned in with that long arm kit to do exactly what he says.
What Dan's doing with Carly.
Rebound so bad.
See, listen to this. Look at that.
Very smooth.
That is almost it just sounds so good to actually hear that thing. Okay, so yesterday, Zane, we were out on the track. We got to see what the short arm kit actually did and how it performed. Mm-hmm. And so we actually have the Dominator long arm kit laid out here on the table, which is good for me because now I can actually see, under Dan's truck, you don't really get to see everything, but having it laid out on the table, hopefully you can kind of explain to me what the advantages over the short arm to the long arm and what the advantages are and why they call it a Dominator.
Yeah, and obviously you're going to see the long arm aspect of it. So getting those arms down lower on the frame, a longer stretched arm, it's going to ride better. But what else is a Dominator kit? Dominator kit is a 3.0 shock package. What makes a long travel Dominator kit? This is the longest 12-inch travel shock that you're going to have, and that's done by having a welded rod end on the bottom and an OD cap on top. You each gain 1 inch on either side of that. So now you're running right in the middle of the shock shaft travel, 6 inches up, 6 inches down, instead of previous 7-inch up, 3-inch down. So that's one big aspect to how you can fit this large shock with these towers in this truck and gain so much more out of it.
Yeah, this is really kind of a not only does it work, but it's quite an art piece.
Yes,
if you look
it
at
looks awesome.
And I was looking at all the quality work that Carly puts into their suspension is just above and beyond. I'm a welder. I grew up welding my whole life, and I look at the welds that they have put down on their arms, and it's flawless.
Yeah, there's TIG welded pieces on there, very beautiful MIG welded pieces. So it really is a piece of artwork that you can be proud of having underneath your truck.
I mean, the quality of the heims, the things that are going into it, the jam nuts, like we were talking about, on how this piece works, which I don't know, maybe this is something we should kind of go over when we actually install it. But tell us about this jam nut.
So they have something proprietary called the Jam It nut, and it has a conical end to it that jams inside the tube, producing 100% more jamming force.
And I can see how it's tapered, so as it goes in, and it's swedged right here, so when it goes in, it actually is going to force down way more
pinches
torque.
down on it, yeah.
So that's really cool. I mean, because a lot of the times you crawl under these trucks, and the jam nuts are loose on them all the time. I've seen it 100 times, but I just think that the way that they're gusseted together, the way that they're built, is just top-notch stuff. So I think at this point right now, let's get installing it, and as we're installing it, maybe we could talk to you a little bit about how some of this stuff works, because it's if you're looking to buy a kit versus a $500,000, $1,500 kit opposed to this kit, it's a big difference. It's a huge difference. And watching the performance of Dan's truck from Carly yesterday, I'll tell you what, it really opened my eyes to the difference in just going down to any Joe Blow place and buying a lift kit and putting it on a truck. This is a legit kit that you could really take off-road.
Well, you can have some fun with it, even if you're on the street and see something that you want to dive off into and hit a ditch harder, this gives you the confidence to do it, and it's the best riding kit that they have. So
I mean, you could send your wife and kids to church with this lift kit in a truck, or with the suspension kit. I shouldn't say lift kit because it's not really a lift kit.
It's a
more of
suspension
a
system.
suspension
Changing the geometry to make it work in performance.
Exactly, and driving it around just looks so drivable. But what I really like about it is how clean it is underneath the truck. Once we get it on here and we kind of really see how it changed the look at it, you can see the truck right now and what you got. And we'll see a big difference in how much
Yep.
better this looks. And it means business. Like when you look underneath there, you know that this guy's gonna pull up and there's some business underneath this truck.
Right.
And that's what's so cool about it.
And we went a little extreme with some colors with what we're choosing, but whenever you get this package straight from Carly, it's got a beautiful king blue on it, so you see that stuff under there and you see what it is, and other guys see what that is.
Yeah, it's just over and over quality stuff here, and I think that I can't wait to see it on Brad's truck and see what Brad does from, not that it was casing out, but the truck's heavy, and when you jump it that far, what do they weigh, 7,500 pounds?
Yeah, at least.
And you know, Brad's got a bunch of stuff in the back of the truck, so
Right.
I mean, it was pretty hard on it. And when you're trying to get that much out of a street truck, it's a lot. So it's going to be interesting to see how this saves everything. If you keep jumping that truck like it was over and over, something's going to break.
Right.
You know, this right here, I think you could jump it all day long.
It gives you confidence.
Right. Okay, so at this point right now, what we're gonna do is basically just yard out the old short arm kit that's in this truck. We're gonna just take everything off and get ready. There's gonna be a little bit of work to go into this kit. So we wanna get everything out of the way and take a good look at see what we got and then just go fresh. All right, so part of the process here with this long arm kit is we gotta get the factory bracket out of the way.
Now that you see that we have the suspension out and it's at full droop with the short arm kit, you can see how much further back that the lower coil seat is to the upper coil tower on the short arm kit. When we bring in the long arm, you'll see how much further forward it brings, and at full travel, it stays much more linear in the center of the wheel well.
Come on, fork.
All right, you're on. So we came back now that we have the long arm installed, coils in, shocks in, limiting straps tight, axle's fully hanging. And if you notice, the center of the axle compared to the center of the coil bucket is much more in line than it was with the short arm dominator kit. Pulled back and drooped down.
All right, here we are. We're out back at Speed Vegas, and we've got the suspension that we put on it. We're gonna actually this is the first run right here to see how it handles after the old one. I'm excited. Here we go. Let's see it. Send it. Oh yeah, way better. Way better. Already on it. So Zane, tell me about what we've done to this truck to actually increase the travel on the suspension.
So we did the Dominator long arm kit. So the idea is to get it to float a little bit better, land better, that longer travel of that arm, and the longer linear rate.
We're gonna find out right now.
See how it does.
See how it looks like. Yeah, it sounds way better than it did the other day, right?
Yeah, if you remember how it felt the other day or how it looked the other day, you could really hear that hit real hard in the rear. Being that the front is a lot sturdier, everything just lands a lot nicer. And he's out there having fun with 850 horse.
Yeah, he's having a blast right now. He's not kidding. Now he's like, okay, I'm here.